Are you looking for the Oklahoma Sooners in the On3 industry team rankings? I couldn't find them. I checked this morning. They're not there. But don't worry. It's because Oklahoma right now doesn't have a single commitment toward the 2024 class, so they're not ranked. But that is about to change. After finishing with the top 10 class in 23, the Sooners have some serious momentum on the trail and could be in for another loaded class in 2024. Let's bring on national recruiting analyst Sam Speigleman to talk about the Sooners on the recruiting trail. Sam, let's take a look at who exactly Oklahoma has momentum with right now. And there's some studs. You got 5-star defensive lineman Williams Winnari, 5-star defensive lineman David Stone, 5-star corner Kobe Black, 4-star defensive lineman Nigel Smith, and 4-star wide receiver Bryant Wesco. Sam, when do you think Oklahoma is going to start climbing up the rankings? Meaning, where are all the commitments, Sam?
Yeah, those are that's a lot of star power that's on that list. But listen, it's still really early in the spring. There's a lot of junior days that Oklahoma staff is just starting to have. But I'm starting to look in April next month at the Oklahoma spring game where you're going to see a lot of these names back on campus. You look at the names on this list; those are a lot of 5-stars with Williams Nwaneri, David Stone, Kobe Black. Those are guys that do not make their decisions very early on. Now, those are more of the 4-stars on that list. Again, those are some of the top names in the country. Those are 5-stars and high 4-stars. But I would expect momentum to start picking up when these visits start to turn into second and third visits, also official visits in the spring. Looking at next month's spring game when they're going to have a lot of these names, a lot of other big names on campus for those commitments to start falling down.
Yeah, let's circle back on this list. Let's start at the top with Williams Winnari, the number 1 defensive lineman in America, number 2 prospect overall. He has official visits locked into UGA, Mizzou, and Oklahoma, but he's recently been at Georgia. He's set to visit Nebraska next. Where does Oklahoma stand in all of this?
Well, my RPM has been on Oklahoma, and that's for the fact that he's been to Norman more than any other campus in his recruitment so far. You said it. He's from Missouri, and he's been to Oklahoma more than that. He's already locked in his OV back to Oklahoma. He's just taken his first visit to Georgia. He's taken his first visit to LSU. Tennessee is all but assured an official visit down the line from Nwaneri as well. So listen, Oklahoma has its work cut out for them, but Oklahoma is about to go to the SEC, and they're going to have to beat out a lot of these SEC stalwarts like LSU and Georgia to get a commitment from this elite defensive lineman. But Oklahoma has a defensive line-oriented coaching staff with Brent Venables at the top down to Miguel Chavis and Todd Bates. And if they're going to win another heated recruitment like they did with Peyton Bowen a year ago, it's going to be with Nwaneri, and they're going to have to beat out big guys like Tennessee and Georgia to do so.
Yeah, and then the next name on this list, 5-star David Stone out of IMG Academy. This isn't going to be an easy battle either. You got Michigan State trending on the recruiting prediction machine. He's taken one visit to Miami. Another one's coming up soon. Where's Oklahoma stand with David Stone?
Well, I like where the Sooners have been with David Stone. I actually like where they're heading with David Stone. You talked about the team that's trending on the RPM. That's Michigan State. That's where my pick is currently on. But Michigan State has lost 2 key cogs in the machine that's been recruiting him for so long. Brandon Jordan just took a job with the Seattle Seahawks. Mario Coleman, their defensive line coach, just took a job with his alma mater at Georgia Tech. Now, that's opened the door for other schools to enter the picture with David Stone, Oklahoma being one of them. Oklahoma is going to get an official visit. That's the hometown team for David Stone, who's originally from Oklahoma City, even though he plays for IMG Academy. Ohio State is heavily in the mix. That LSU and Texas A&M visit turned his head a bit, and he's heading back to Miami, where Mario Cristobal believes in building from the trenches on out. But Oklahoma, again, has been a staple in his recruitment under Lincoln Riley. That's continued under Venables. I like where Oklahoma sits moving forward, and I think in the end they're going to be hard to beat for David Stone.
All right, and then we got another 5-star on here, Kobe Black. There's a lot of teams trying to pull him out of the state of Texas. What's OU's angle on Kobe Black?
Yeah, OU and Texas are two of the campuses he's been to quite a bit, along with Oklahoma State, where his brother plays. He's talked about going out to visit Ohio State. He's talked about visiting LSU and Alabama. and he's talked about going out to USC to see LA and what Lincoln Riley and Alex Grinch have going out there on the West Coast. But again, Oklahoma, defensive-oriented team, defensive-oriented head coach. Jay Valai just pulled off one of the biggest recruiting wins of the 2023 cycle, getting Peyton Bowen away from Notre Dame at the buzzer. And he's gung-ho about Kobe Black, one of the best defensive backs in the class for 2024. Oklahoma State is a major contender, but Oklahoma really is pushing hard, and that might be easy for Dad to visit both schools.
Brent Venables is taking the trenches seriously. He's making a priority. We're talking about all these studs at defensive line position. Now it's moved down to Nigel Smith, the number 9 ranked defensive lineman in the country, 70th best player overall. OU is way out there in front on the recruiting prediction machine. Why is OU trending the way they are right now with Nigel Smith?
They've been after Nigel Smith since he was an underclassman, and now he's finally going into his senior year. And the one staple in his recruitment left is Oklahoma. Notre Dame was a major contender at one point. Ohio State still is very much in the mix. Texas and A&M are both trying to get Nigel Smith from the DFW area back on campus at some point this spring. I expect that to happen. But Oklahoma has and continues to be a major factor with Nigel Smith. But Nigel Smith's going to be back on campus this spring. He's already been back in January. He's visited more than any of their campus. I like where they sit with Nigel Smith. I think it's a matter of time for the Sooners with one of the best in the country.
All right, let's talk about Bryant Wesco. He is an on-3 outlier, electric wide receiver out of the state of Texas. And on-3 outlier means that on-3 has him ranked higher than the rest of the industry. But I do think eventually the industry will catch up because Bryant Wesco is that dude. Why should Oklahoma fans be excited about him, Sam?
Yeah, it's, you talked about him being an on-3 outlier. Well, the rest of the industry is catching up, and on-3 was on him first. And his recruitment, even though he's as an outlier, it's just starting to pick up the pace. Mm-hmm. Oklahoma has been a staple in his recruitment, along with TCU, and he's coming off a visit to LSU, and he's got strong family ties to Louisiana, but he's a DFW guy, which means he's developed a great rapport with Malcolm Kelly at TCU, and he's been a top target for Emmett Jones since Emmett Jones, a DFW guy, was at Texas Tech. Since Emmett Jones was hired as Oklahoma's wide receivers coach, he's already been to Oklahoma. I was told that was a needle-moving visit. I'm close to moving my RPM toward the Sooners, but I believe there's still a long ways to go in his recruitment. We talked about him visiting LSU. We talked about him visiting Oklahoma. Those are two major contenders now to watch, along with TCU. And you can see the Alabamas and the other major, national contenders getting involved with Wesco down the line because he's an elite receiver. You said it, he's that dude, and everyone's going to want to have a chance. Clemson, another team to watch, with one of the best in the country out of Midlothian, Texas.
All right, if you're an Oklahoma fan that checked the recruiting rankings this morning and saw that Oklahoma doesn't have a single recruitment, you got to be excited about some of the names that we're talking about here. Sam, do you expect Oklahoma to back-to-back their top 10 class with another top 10 class in 2024? Do you think that they can do it?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Look at the names that we're talking about, and these are the names that are high on their board and down there. They have a lot of talent in the state of Oklahoma this year. DFW is always a loaded hotbed for them. I don't think Oklahoma fans have anything to worry about, and I think when it's all said and done, they'll be in a very good spot in the big picture.
Yeah, the results aren't there yet, but Oklahoma, they're putting in the work with some of these top prospects in America. Sam, thanks for checking in on the Inside Scoop. Thank you for watching. Make sure you smash that subscribe button for me, and remember to check out all the videos on the On3 YouTube page.